Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny, and I am joining you on the Global Inspiration page today. My name is Jenny Harrell, and I am a demonstrator in the beautiful state of Colorado. So let's see if I can get my screen to show up here. I think it's there. So I hope you've enjoyed all the videos from this morning so far. I think they've been great. For once, I've been able to watch most of them, or at least catch the bits and pieces of them. That's what's, some people don't like Facebook, and it's not my favorite thing. But the good thing is, if we do videos, they're here, and you can always watch the replays. It might not be your the right time in whatever part of the world you live. You can always come back and watch the replays. So I think that's probably one of the good things about Facebook for us. So you've probably noticed, or you know, that we're doing fall, all about fall. Well, here in North America, that means fall colors, fall leaves. But if you're in another hemisphere, it might not. So you just take these helpful hints and turn them into springtime cards. You can still do that. So let's get started. We're going to, big surprise, we're going to use autumn leaves. What's interesting is all the other videos that I've seen did not do what I'm doing. So you're getting like triple bonus ideas from one stamp set. Now, we've mentioned that the beautiful, beautiful paper, I think Sandra said you have to see it in person to appreciate it. This is the most gorgeous paper, and you can't order it until next week, which kind of makes you sad. But I figured that there was a way to use this stamp set without that paper, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I got out my annual catalog, and I was flipping through and looking at things to see. I was, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe wood grain. I could maybe do something with that. And guess what I found? I saw this beautiful paper. And I had a whole bunch of it because I have not used this color of the gingham paper. I have used some of the other colors. This is pecan pie, and I thought, well, that's just perfect for fall. So our card is going to use that paper. We're going to do a little stamping, a little die cutting, a little making a mess, which is what we love to do. So I'm going to start with just a piece of very vanilla. And we're going to make some pretty fall leaves. So we're going to use pumpkin pie. We're going to use our blending brushes. You know what? I think I'll get a piece of scrap paper here. Because when I use my blending brushes, I like to tap off a little bit. And we're just going to smear all over this paper some different fall colors. And it doesn't matter if they have those spots, because it's kind of what you want. You don't want it to be all even and perfect. You want it like leaves turn colors in splotchy ways. I know you maybe haven't noticed that we have small blending brushes and we have large blending brushes. It's always nice to have those choices, isn't it? I'm going to use some crushed curry. We'll just kind of blend that in different places on our paper. Isn't this pretty? It's also pretty if you want to splatter a little water on this after you've blended it, and it'll give it some little water drop looks. Which, you know, leaves usually have little spots on them, don't they? Now our next color is going to be Cajun Craze. You could use any. I was even thinking, you know, I think Calypso Coral would work. Of course, Daffodil Delight would work. Any of our new Wild Wheat would maybe work. Several ideas that we could come up with here. We just want our Cajun Craze is kind of pink looking today. There we go. But any of the colors that you think leaves need, and I actually think that pretty Moody Mauve would look pretty too. Maybe a tiny bit of Berry Burst. It just depends on what you like. Now, you know, leaves don't all change at one time. So I'm just going to add a little bit, not very much, of Old Olive. Just to give it that little touch of green here and there. And we'll let that that looks good enough. That's just pretty as it is, isn't it? Now we know that this set has these fabulous dies. I think Leanne says she didn't know what to do with this one. I'm going to show you what to do with it later. So we're going to, the cool thing here is there's 2 of every of the small leaves. So we can do a lot of die cutting at one time. Where's my second one here? This one's hiding somewhere on my desk. So we won't worry about it right now. I wonder where it went. It's not in my little magnet tray, but it'll show up. So we could cut several of these all at one time. We'll put this in the cut and emboss machine. These work fabulous in your mini cut and emboss because they're small. But my large one is over here, so we're going to just use it. And if you, I won't take the time, but I could cut all of this and make several cards. Because I still have quite a bit of our blended paper. We'll save that and make another card later today. So here's our leaves, and each one is going to be unique. This is such a fun way to make your own paper. Now see, that's just got that tiny touch of green. That leaf hasn't changed all the way yet. And we poke these out. Get them going. I will give you, ooh, isn't that one pretty? A little tip here. If you're going to glue these down, you make sure where you've got them where you want them, because they're cut here. If you try to move them, they're going to rip. I know, ask me how I know. So make sure you've got them where you want them because of that cut line. And don't use too much Tombow because it will come pouring out and through those little cracks. So let's get started here. I think we have enough. I have a couple extras, so if we need those, I can pop those in. Now, there's this die here, and it cuts some branches. And I went ahead and cut some, and I cut them apart because it comes out like that, and I just snipped it apart. We didn't need that large of a branch. There's this one also. So there's lots of choices there with your pieces. We'll put our little leaves over here out of the way. This is not a fancy fold, but it's a little bit of a fold. I cut, this was 5.5 by 8.5, and I cut off 2 1/8, so we just have a little flap here. And I have a confession on this one. I wanted to use the pecan pie paper, but I thought it was so plain. I thought that the leaf embossing folder was retired, and it's not. It's current. So I wanted the whole piece to look like leaves. If you put that in there to have the leaves on it, you put it in at an angle, and then that whole piece will be covered with leaves. I was so glad to see that. I don't know why I thought it was retired. So we're going to layer these on some early espresso. Just give a small little border, depending on what card size you use. I know some of us have different measurements for either metric or imperial. Is that what we have? And so then our second layer will be here. This will be our first little flap layer, and then our second layer. This card comes together fairly quickly, and then I'm just going to lay that there. We're going to stamp our inside sentiment before I put this down, because if I mess up, I can put another piece of paper there. Do you ever do things like that? Or cover up your messed up stamping with a label? I do that all the time. So in this set, it has, we're going to use I'm Thankful on the front. And on the inside, I've put for all you do today and every day. That's 2 separate stamps, but if you line them up very carefully, you can stamp both at the same time. They're very tiny, but they have a nice saying, so we can do tiny. I'm going to make sure this looks fairly straight. And that, now we had to hold my breath on that one. So now we can go ahead and put this down. I don't have to worry about covering that up. I always think, I wonder if people took our cards apart, what kind of mess they would see. Because we all tend to turn the paper over and use it again, and creative way to cover up our mistakes. None of us are perfect. So there's, now we need our focal piece. So for that is my gingham. So So I've got that layering, the vanilla, the early espresso, and then the gingham. I think I'm the last person today, but I hope you'll pop back in tomorrow because there will be 5 or 6 more fabulous cards to see. I guess cards projects, so maybe we never know what people are going to do. We don't tell each other, we let it be a surprise. Now, have you noticed these? Now, of course, I fell in love with the deckled rectangles, but now we have the deckled circles. I think you get 14 of these, and if you're a scrapbooker, the large ones will be great. But you can also die cut this large and fold it in half and have a half circle card. Lots of choices. So don't let those, don't miss those in the catalog. I feel sure they'll be hanging around for a while. So I put 2 together and made like a wreath, kind of like a grapevine wreath looking circle. I didn't want it perfect, you know, I didn't want the stitched look. I wanted more of a rustic look, and we're going to put that on our square. We don't need a lot of Tombow here. It's going to be fine. Might be a little tricky to try to put that on with tape because it's so thin. Now we're ready to use our leaves and create our little, it's kind of like a wreath you would hang on your door, huh? I definitely want this beautiful green to show, so I love that little bit of green there. And we'll just arrange these in a way that makes you happy. And I'm going to save a small one for later. We'll snuggle it in somewhere. So keep your glue away from those slits in the leaf. I'm sorry, I cannot see comments. Now I see it. Yes, Brenda, I love gingham. I think gingham never goes out of style. When I was little, my mom would make us gingham dresses, every color. Oh, you're watching from Arizona? Not too far from me, in Colorado. Yeah, these colors are pretty for fall, aren't they, Sandra? I've even started thinking I would like to wear some fall colors, but it's still too soon. So, now there's our wreath so far. And I want to put a sentiment on here. I don't think I have anything to stamp it on, though. Wonder where that, oh, here it is. So we're going to stamp it on a scrap piece. We all have these little small scrap pieces. And I said I was going to use the I'm Thankful. Let's hope I can get it on there pretty good. It's the good thing, oh, perfect, about these photopolymers. You can see a little better with your stamping. It's harder to see that with the red. I love both, though. They both have, and we're going to give this a tail. They both have their pluses and minuses of the type of stamp you prefer. I'm going to show you a little trick. Maybe you know it or not, but I never know where to cut so that it looks perfect. Not that it will be perfect. So take the little piece that popped out and fell on the floor and put it where you think that goes to kind of make it and draw a little line. Now you can throw that away. And we'll just snip that. Now when I cut this, it should be similar. That's about similar distance. It wants to jump around, doesn't it? It's because it's tiny. I'll lick my finger so I can hold the paper. Oh my goodness, this is tricky today. There we go. I did that this morning. Look at that. I used the wrong one, so we'll do that one again. I used the wrong tail thing. Let's get another piece of scrap paper. Somebody should have warned me. I think this one will work. It's funny that I did that this morning when I was practicing, and then I did it again. Pretty goobery. Oh, North Africa, fabulous. Well, hello, Teresa. I'm glad you're watching. What time is it for you? There we go. We'll see if we can do this right this time. This one. Okay, you're going to help me remember which one to use. It's a little crooked. We're just going to make do with that today. We're allowed to do crooked. I might go back and change it. We'll see. That's pretty crooked. That's awful. Oh well. So you get to see that we're not perfect. Maybe I can put a leaf over it. How's that? Maybe that leaf will go on there and take care of that. Now I want to put a little bit of twine on here. Our linen thread. I always call it twine. So we're going to kind of just tie a little bundle there. The knot is going to go behind our sentiment, so it doesn't have to look fancy. Now, I also want just a touch of gold, because I think fall is gold. So, you know, we have the gold and silver, I don't know what they call it, braid, and it's a little thick for me. I like a tiny piece of gold. So I'm going to show you how to take this, and you're going to deconstruct it. You see how when you cut, can you see that? There's some little fibers coming out from that. You can throw that away. And now you can pull just some gold threads, just because we just want a touch of gold. And now you have that to use on your card, and of course you have lots more to use on your next card. So we're going to put that on our card. And I love the way it's all curly and kinky looking. So let's see if we can find some blue dots. I've been trying to use up some from Paper Pumpkin. I'll put a couple there. Hold our gold little sparkle. We all need sparkle. And then another one to hold our linen thread. I might pull this. Yeah, I might pull that down a little bit. Kind of make it a loop. We'll see how that works. Yeah. That'll look pretty. This is a little too long. I feel like I'm talking to myself, but most of the time I do, don't you? At least in my head, I'm talking to myself. We're going to put this on with some dimensionals. I got this piece right here. I think that's just about perfect to cut off and use. That will give it a nice stickability. We'll cover up our knots. Put our twine where we want it. Looks like I need a small one underneath there. I don't have any minis in my drawer here. We'll just have to, oh, there's one left on there. We can use that one. Let's see if I can't sneak that under there. It needs to be the same level. That looks better. Now here's the one I saved because I wasn't sure where we wanted it. We want it there, or I think we'll put it here. Sometimes it's hard to visualize in my head how I want things. We'll slide that. Isn't that a pretty wreath? You could hang that on your door. We got some wreaths we can put on, leaves we can put on the inside. And we're going to put this on our card front, and I think I'll do it with dimensionals. Unless I have a piece of, I have some foam strip here. This might work nicely. I usually cut this in the trimmer, but I think we can just cut it with scissors today. I love these foam sheets. It's a little crooked here. Of course, I can't cut straight. There we go. That's going to make it stick real well. Just so long as it's not peeking through there. I think we're good. Now, of course, we need a little bling. I struggle with putting rhinestones, pearls on my cards. So I use just an old-fashioned hole punch, and I punch out bling that I can practice with, because it's just scrap paper. And then I can decide where I should put my bling. I don't like that one. Of course, it just went jumping. I think that should go down here. But could we put like a... No, I think we'll put 2 down here. We might put another leaf right. No, I know what we need. We forgot these, so this is what we're going to put down there. Our little branches. We needed something there. Now I know where to put the bling, and I can put my branches. I thought it kind of looked naked. Naked. Yes. Yep, we needed that. I needed you guys to be able to holler at me through the phone, through the camera. This morning I was talking to somebody on the camera, and my husband said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm talking to the YouTube people." So now we know where our bling's going to go. I'm going to use these speckled dots. Unfortunately, they are back ordered for a while, but hopefully they'll show up pretty soon. But if you like that color, just take the matte dots that we have and color them with your blends and make them be pumpkin pie. All right, there's our card. I'm thankful for all you do today and every day. Let's put 2 or 3 leaves down here. I think that will work, and we'll be done. We can let that overlap there because it's going to be behind. Yep. Let's just a touch of Tombow. Well, that went there. Stay put. So there's our card. Now, remember Leanne said she wondered what those funny dies are. They do add texture. She at least thought that. So since I had leaves left over from my practice card, I decided I'm always needing sympathy cards. How about you? So I made this one. I put those 2 textured pieces. I had to run it twice for that one, and then I just spilled some leaves, put a little knot, and then these are the matte bling pearls or whatever to make a sympathy card. So with all your leftover pieces, you can certainly do something. I splattered a little bit of Cajun Craze on there to give it just a little texture. Thank you for joining us today. And this, I did want to say that, of course, here in the United States, we always talk about Thanksgiving and fall going together, being together, and things we are thankful for. And I wanted to say how I was so thankful for the Global Inspiration Stamp team. I knew 2 people on the team, but then I got to meet 4, 5, 6 others recently, and it was like we were best friends immediately. And I appreciated them just taking me under their wing and letting me be part of this group. So if they're your demonstrator, please show them your gratitude also, because I know you know how hard demonstrators work, don't we? But we want you guys to be happy too. So thanks for joining us today. Make sure you pop in tomorrow for more inspiration. And then next week, we're going to have little pop-ins with some extra inspiration for you, with some more cards and more designs using maybe the same stamp set. So you're going to have a lot of inspiration using this autumn leaves. See you sometime next week. Thanks. Bye.